Hi friends, welcome to class. My name is Ayano. Let's go ahead and start in child's pose today. We'll find the way to the back of the mat. Bring your big toes together. Knees can be hips distance apart. Sit down onto your heels. Reach your arms out in front of you. Lower your forehead down to the mat. And close your eyes. Go ahead and relax your elbows so they settle down onto your mat. Before we begin moving, I'd like you to notice your mood and your energy level right now. Maybe you're excited, a little anxious, irritable, sad. Maybe you're just really tired. Whatever you're feeling is okay. Accept it with kindness and just let it be. Bring your attention to your fingertips. Trace your forearms, elbows, run up the upper arms to your shoulders. Feel your shoulder blades run down the spine all the way down to the tailbone. Feel your hip creases, the tops of your thighs, the backs of your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, the tops of your feet, the soles of your feet, and all 10 of your toes. Bring your attention to your belly. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Sigh it out your mouth. Gently blink your eyes open. Come up to all fours, tabletop. Shoulders stack over your wrists. Hips stack over your knees. Knees are hips distance apart. Spread your fingers wide and grip the mat with all 10 fingers as we warm up the wrists. Using your shoulders, draw big circles in one direction over your wrists. You want to keep your fingers activated so you can distribute the weight of your body to your fingers so you're not just dumping all of your weight into your wrist creases. And we'll move in the opposite direction, really just finding that range of motion for the wrists that hold us up for so much of our yoga practice. And come back to center. Turn your hands around so your fingers point towards your knees. Gently sink your hips back towards your heels and stop when you find sensation of the bottoms of your wrists opening. And come back to regular tabletop. Shake your hands out if you like. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees just an inch up off the mat. Tighten up your abdominals. Energetically draw your knees towards the backs of your wrists. Back of the neck is long. Step your right foot back to plank pose. Step your left foot back to plank pose. You can always lower your knees here in this shape. Just remember that. Otherwise, heels press back. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. If you'd like to pedal out your legs here, feel welcome to do that. If the backs of your legs are tight, like most of us will be, just add a little bend to your knees. It'll make it easier for you. Hands press the mat down and away. Send your hips diagonally back and up. Ears line up with your upper arms here. Notice if you're letting your belly and your ribs pop out and arching in the spine. Instead, can you pull your ribs in towards your spine as you pull your low belly in as well. Do or don't drift your heels maybe an inch closer to the mat. Shift forward to plank pose, upper push-up position. Wrap your shoulders back. Draw your collarbones forward to the gateway of your arms. Let the bony bones at the front of your hips move up towards your face. Take an inhale here. And exhale, down dog. We'll go back to plank pose, but we're going to roll forward on my cue like a wave. So tuck your chin in towards your heart. Come up high on your tiptoes. Round the upper back as you come forward. Shoulders stack over the wrists. Now release the crown of your head forward. Heels press back for plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, down dog. Again, tuck your chin in towards your heart. Come up high on your tiptoes. Round the upper back as you come forward. Once the shoulders are over the wrists, release your head forward. Heels press back. Inhale. Exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward dog. And we'll do that twice. Breath per movement on your own. Inhale, roll forward to plank. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, hips up and back. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Hooray! Step your feet a little bit wider than hips distance apart. Turn your toes outwards at 45 degrees. Bend your knees, squat down, malasana. Bring your palms to prayer at your heart. Elbows are inside of the knees. Draw your tailbone down. Crown of your head reaches up towards the sky. See if you can draw your hands down a bit so you can make your forearms parallel with the earth. That's going to open up your wrists a little bit more. If this is too much for you, feel free to sit on a block at a height that's appropriate for you. Set your hands down on the mat in front of you. As you straighten your legs, turn your heels out so your feet become parallel, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, find a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, half lift, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Grab opposite elbows for ragdoll with a wide-legged stance. Let your neck be soft, head hangs heavy. Feel welcome to add a slight bend to your knees if your hamstrings are really tight right now. Switch the hold of your elbows. Nod your head yes. Very softly. Release your hands down to the mat. Bend your knees a bit. Pull your low belly in, and one vertebrae at a time. Roll yourself up to standing. Draw your hips beneath your shoulders. Once your head comes up, roll your shoulders into your ears, back and down. Step your feet together and walk up to the front of the mat. Feet are hips distance apart. Engage your quadriceps. Tighten up your thighs. Spin your inner thighs back as you draw your tailbone down. Zip your low belly in, pull it up out through your chest. Keep this lift in your chest, reach your arms up to the sky. Take an inhale here as you reach up a little higher. Exhale, right hand down the right thigh, reach your left arm up and over, gaze looks up under your left arm. Stay heavy in that left heel. Inhale, reach both arms up to the sky. And exhale, left hand down the left leg, right arm up and over, heavy in the right heel. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your heart, gaze looks up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose. If you'd like to utilize your knees for chaturanga, you can always do so. Inhale, shift your shoulders forward beyond the wrists. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower halfway, chaturanga. Flip your toes over. Inhale, gently straighten your arms, upward facing dog, hips and thighs lift. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Three-legged dog. Flex your right toes, turn them south towards your mat. It's going to help you square off your hips. So your right hip always wants to be at the same level as your left in the shape. Take an inhale here. Exhale, right knee to your nose, shoulders stack over the wrists, round the back. Inhale, extend the right leg back, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to your nose. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back. Bend the right knee, roll your right hip over your left. Stay heavy in both palms as you roll your right ribs down towards the mat. So your torso squares off to the floor. Inhale, come up high on your left toes. Exhale the right foot forward in between your hands. Drop the back knee, release your toes. Inhale, reach your arms up. Anjaneyasana. So we're trying to open up the front of the left hip, but we want to also maintain the space in the right hip crease. So notice if you're arching forward or leaning forward and closing this gap between your right hip and the top of your right thigh. Press down into your right foot if you need to. Zip your tailbone beneath your shoulders. Find a long spine and then soften into your left hip, your psoas. Bring your palms to prayer at your heart. Take an inhale here. And exhale, twist to the right, left elbow outside your right thigh. Revolve your ribs to the front of the room and then towards your hands. The palms are going to drift closer to the center of your heart, your sternum. Perhaps your gaze looks up past your right shoulder. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the mat. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee up. Step your right foot back to down dog. Inhale your left leg to the sky. Take a moment to look at your left toes. Check that they're facing the ground. Take an inhale here. Exhale, left knee to your nose, shoulders stack over the wrists, round the back. Inhale, extend your left leg back and up, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to your nose. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back. Bend your left knee, roll your left hip over your right. Roll your left ribs towards the mat. Maybe your right heel drifts a little bit closer to the earth. Inhale, come up high on your right toes. Exhale the left foot forward in between your hands. Drop your back knee. Release the toes. Inhale your arms up to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Check in with your left knee. We have a tendency to have it drifting too far forward in front of the ankle. Really, the left knee should stack directly on top of the center of the ankle. Shoulders relax. Bring your palms to prayer at your heart. Take an inhale here. And exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow outside your left thigh. Lengthen the spine forward before you find that twist. Notice how your shoulders want to crunch up into your ears and you just want to dump into that right shoulder. Instead, can you press into your outer upper right arm and draw the shoulder blades down your spine? Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, hands to the mat. Tuck your right toes. Lift the right knee up, step your left foot back to downward dog. I'm going to move through some sun salutations. Chaturanga, the half push-up position, is always optional. So for the first two, we're just going to skip it. And I'll introduce it for the rounds that follow. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, move your hips back, look forward past the hands, walk your feet up to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Again, inhale, half lift and pause. Reach your arms back behind you. Your spine is parallel to the earth. Maintain the shape of your back as on an inhale, you reach your arms forward and up to the sky, stand up to Tadasana. Exhale, palms to prayer at your heart. So whenever we come up from a forward fold, that's the shape of the spine that you'd like to keep. A long, straight spine. Let your arms fall down your sides. Inhale, reach up, grow up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, glance out. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank pose. We're going to skip the chaturanga. Lift your hips up and back, down dog. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward past the hands. Walk your feet up to the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Remember that flat back. Inhale, reach up, rise. Exhale, palms to prayer. Arms drift down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank pose. Lift your hips up and back. Downward dog. So now we know what that sequence looks like when we skip chaturanga. So feel welcome to keep doing that. But I will introduce it now for a full sun salutation. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Walk, step, or jump to the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in with a flat back. Inhale, reach up, rise. Exhale, palms to prayer. Arms drift down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Lean forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Flip the toes over. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back. Down dog. Inhale, high on the toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Look forward. Bottom of the breath. Come on up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale to Tadasana. Exhale, palms to prayer. Let your arms fall. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or float back to soft elbows. Lower halfway chaturanga. Flip the toes over. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Up and back, down dog. Go ahead and lower your knees here and take a child's pose. Sit down on your heels. Lower your forehead to the mat. Child's pose is always a fantastic option to whip out at any point in your practice. It gives you an opportunity to just calm your senses, catch up with your breath. And you'll always re-enter a class whenever you feel ready. If you're up for it, we'll find the way back to down dog, please. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Exhale the right foot forward in between your hands. Drop your back knee. Keep your left toes tucked. Bring your hands to your hips. We're going to set up for crescent pose, but we're going to set up the foundation first in the legs and in the spine. So zip your inner thighs together and gently straighten your left leg to a degree that's comfortable. So your left leg is probably not going to be completely straight. That's totally okay. Look down at your hips. Make sure that your hips are directly under your shoulders, your belly's pulled in, so we're not arching forward, and we're also not scooping the tailbone too far forward and leaning back. Straight spine. Keep that. Reach your arms up to the sky. Keep that right knee stacked over the center of your right foot, your right ankle, excuse me. Palms rotate towards one another. They might even swivel towards the back of the room. Feel your inner left thigh spin up towards the sky. Take an inhale here, reach up a little higher. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your right foot back to downward dog. Inhale your left leg to the sky. Exhale the left foot forward in between your hands. Drop your back knee. Keep your right toes tucked. Bring your hands to your hips. Zip your inner thighs together. And very slowly, straighten your back leg by pressing your right heel back. Stop at the edge of this stretch for you. Look down at your hips. Check their location. Reach your arms up. Crescent. Your hips and everything below them sink down into that 90-degree angle of your left leg. The sides of your waist and everything above your hips reaches up, up, up. Maybe your gaze looks up. Maybe you can even drift your arms a little bit closer together. Take an inhale here. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your left foot back. Down dog. Step your right foot forward in between your hands. Spin your back heel down. Leading with your left arm, blossom open, warrior two. So line up your right heel with your left inner arch or your left heel. If you have tighter hips, you want to go for the heel to heel. Left toes face forward, just 10 degrees. Right toes face completely forward. Make the right shin perpendicular with the earth. Heart opens towards the left side wall as your gaze looks forward towards your right fingertips and past them. Breathe into the sensation in your legs. Notice if your outer right hip wants to hang out to the right. Instead, can you draw your right hip crease back towards your left heel to taper the hips in towards the center line of your mat. Bring your right forearm on top of your right thigh. Reach your left arm up and overhead. Palm swivels towards you. Maybe your gaze looks up under your left arm. Notice what your right ribs are doing here. They're going to want to rainbow arch away from the earth. Instead, can you lengthen your ribs forward towards the front of the mat? If you like, you can always place your right hand on a block on the inside of your right foot or lower your right hand all the way down to the mat. It's your choice. And anchor down into your feet. Come back up to warrior two. Gently straighten your front leg. Relax your arms down your sides. Turn your right toes to the left. So bring your feet parallel and facing the side of the room. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Forward fold. Now, notice if you're overstretching the backs of your knees, feel welcome to soften them a little bit. Make sure your hips are stacking kind of right over where your heels are, so your hips are not too far forward or behind. Interlace the hands behind your low back. Gently draw your hands up and overhead. Try to keep your palms touching if you're able. If this is too much for you, feel welcome to hold opposite elbows here or hold a strap or a shirt in between your hands. Wherever you're at, move your shoulders away from your ears. Switch the hold of your elbows or switch the interlace of your fingers, meaning switching which pinky is on top. Release your hands down to the mat. Inhale, half lift. Find that flat back. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way up, shoulders stack over your hips. Bring your right toes to face the front of the room. Re-bend your front knee, find warrior two, reach your arms out to the sides. Without losing that square in your right knee, flip your right palm up. Inhale, reverse your warrior, right arm reaches up and back, left hand is light on the back leg. Gaze looks up past the top arm. Find a side stretch here across the right side of the body, not a back bend. If you're accidentally in a back bend, lean forward. This means that your right shoulder is going to move towards the left side of the room. Take an inhale here. And exhale, windmill your hands down, frame your front foot, turn onto the ball of your back foot. Shift your weight into your right leg, vertical splits. Left leg lifts to the sky, right leg straightens. Fold over your standing leg. Flex your left toes, turn them towards the mat. Your hands can always be on a block here. If placing your hands down on the mat is too much. And if you'd like a little more, maybe one hand finds the back of your right leg, maybe another. There's plenty of options for everybody. Inhale your left leg a little higher. Exhale, set it down next to your right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees, reach your arms up to the sky, chair pose. So for the most stability, bring your feet hips distance apart. If you'd like a traditional approach, bring your big toes to kiss with your heels slightly apart. Whatever you choose, move your shins and knees back so you can see your toes. Bring your attention to your inner thighs, spin them down so it feels like your sitting bones are separating away from each other. The upper arms line up with your ears, gaze looks forward or slightly up. Take an inhale here. Exhale to stand, palms touch. Same exhale, draw your hands down to your heart. Let's take a few moments to catch your breath. Chair pose. Bend your knees, reach your arms up. Shift your weight into your right foot. Cross the left knee over your right thigh. Maybe your left toes hook behind the right calf, maybe not. Reach your arms forward. Hook the left elbow under your right. Intertwine your forearms. Bring your palms together if you're able. Lift your elbows up to the height of your shoulders and draw those forearms forward and away from you, opening up that upper back. Staying here is awesome. If you'd like to crouch your eagle, soften the grip of your legs and slide down your standing leg as you move your hips back, round the spine. Maybe your bottom elbow touches your bottom knee. Trying not to touch my mic here. Wherever you are, slowly unravel yourself all the way out. Come to standing. Shake your legs out. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or shoot back, chaturanga or skip it. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Sigh it out your mouth. Again, deep inhale through your nose. Let it out. Opposite side, step your left foot forward in between your hands. Spin your back heel down, leading with your right arm, warrior two. Right toes turn in just a little bit to face the front of the room. You'll notice how your right shoulder wants to come forward. Can you karate chop that right arm back so we're opening up the chest? Arms are stacked over our legs. Notice if any emotions come up while you're in this shape. If you're getting agitated, can you make a conscious effort to change your attitude? Change it to welcome the sensation, to embrace it. Set your left forearm on top of your left thigh. Reach your right arm up and overhead. Palm rotates towards you. Lengthen your ribs. Guide your gaze up under your right tricep. Breathe deeply in and out of your nose. Anchor down into your feet. Come on up, warrior two. Gently straighten your left leg. Relax your hands down your sides. Turn your left toes towards the right side of the room. Feet are parallel in a wide-legged stance. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Now, turn your left toes out at an angle at 45 degrees. Bend your left knee. Walk your hands with you as you move to your left. Come up onto your right heel, right toes, turn up towards the sky. Sink your hips down, heart lifts up. Skandasana, stay here or bring your palms to prayer at your heart using your left elbow to press your left knee open. Sorry, I'm not facing the camera. I hope you get the idea. Set your hands down on the mat. We'll switch sides. Bend your right knee. Place the sole of the right foot down at an angle. Walk your hands with you as you come to your right. Come up onto your left heel. Left toes turn up. Sink your hips down. Stay here or bring your palms to prayer at your heart. And we'll switch sides. Place your hands down. Walk over to your left side. Right toes turn up. And again to your right. Walk your hands with you. Left toes turn up. Walk your hands back to center. Straighten both legs. Feet are parallel. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, left toes face the front of the room. Bend your left knee, warrior two. Without losing the 90-degree angle in that front knee, flip your left palm up. Inhale, reverse. Find that distance between your left hip and your left upper thigh. Another inhale here. And exhale, windmill your hands down. Frame your front foot. Turn onto the ball of your back foot. Shift your weight into your left leg. Right leg lifts to the sky. Vertical splits. Standing leg straightens. Flex those right toes to turn towards you and then face the earth. Draw your left hip crease back. It'll want to creep forward. Neck is relaxed here. Just let the stress of the day fall out of the crown of your head. Inhale your right leg a little bit higher. Exhale, set it down next to your left. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in. Chair pose, bend your knees, reach your arms up. Let's take a few moments to adjust, draw those shins and knees back. If you notice that you're arching in your spine in here and it's really uncomfortable, that's because you want to draw that tailbone down so you can find a long back. Protect your back. Take an inhale here. Exhale to stand, palms touch. Same exhale, draw your hands down. Really getting into those glutes today. Bend your knees, chair pose. Shift your weight into your left foot. Cross your right knee over your left thigh. Do or don't hook the right toes behind the left calf. Reach your arms forward. Hook your right elbow onto your left. Intertwine your forearms. Palms might touch. Lift those elbows up and draw them forward. Do or don't. Crouch your eagle. If you like, round that back as you bring the elbows down to kiss the knees. A nice combination of softening and tightening to come into this shape. However you like, unravel yourself, come to standing, and maybe release those legs a bit. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Last vinyasa. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or shoot back to soft elbows. Lower halfway chaturanga. Flip your toes over. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Side out your mouth. All right. Cool down time. Set your right foot forward in between your hands. Drop your back knee. Heel toe your right foot out to your left a little bit. So your right foot is going to find the outside of your left wrist. Release the little back toes down as you scoot your left knee back a bit. And gently lower your right knee to the right. Now, most of you are going to have your right hip lifted off the mat like I do. So if that's the case, utilize a block or a bolster to help support that lifted hip. You don't want the hip to be supported so much that you don't feel anything anymore. We're just finding a middle ground between feeling pain and feeling nothing. So just a nice little stretch. And stay here on your hands or lower down onto your elbows, even onto your belly. If this really is incredibly uncomfortable for you, you can slide that right heel down towards your left hip. That's going to make this a little more passive. Both shapes are pigeon pose. I'm just showing you the traditional version with your right shin parallel to the front of the mat. Roll your left hip down towards the mat. Breathe and stay with this sensation in your hip. Everybody come up onto your hands. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee up. Step your right foot back to meet your left and down dog. If you'd like to release your right knee or your leg in any way, go ahead and do that. Not necessary. And we'll step the left foot forward in between the hands. Drop the back knee. Heel toe your left foot over to your right. Bring the foot outside of your right hand. And gently lower your left knee to the left. Scoot your back leg back and release the top of the foot down. Place a block under the lifted hip. Bolster if you need it. Using blocks doesn't make you a worse practitioner in any way. We don't need to be 0 to 100 all the time. In fact, using blocks and assistance where we need actually makes us a much more intelligent practitioner. By placing this block under a lifted hip, it sends a signal to the brain to help that muscle relax into the stretch instead of reacting and running away thinking that it's in danger and pulling up away from the stretch. Remember, you can always slide your left foot down towards your right hip if anything's too much. Soften your shoulders, relax your jaw. And come up onto your hands, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee up, step your left foot back to down dog, shake out your left leg if you want. Lower both knees down, cross the ankles, walk your hands back to sit behind your heels. Bring both legs out in front of you. Forward fold. Bring the ankles together. Left hand to your left glute. Scoot your left glute back behind you. Right hand to your right glute. Scoot it back. Inhale, reach your arms up, lengthen up tall. And exhale, fold forward. If your hands are on your legs here, it might be nice to access a shirt or a strap so you can loop it around the soles of your feet, grab opposite ends, and draw yourself gently forward. It's just an option. Gently roll your spine up. Bend your knees, scoot forward a bit, roll onto your spine. Bend your right knee in towards your heart. Scoot your hips over to the right an inch. Set your left hand outside of your right thigh. Draw that knee across your body to your left. Gaze looks right. Reach your right arm out to the side, straight out from your right shoulder. Palm faces the sky. And come back to center. Grow your right leg long towards the front of the room. Left knee bends into your heart. Scoot your hips to your left an inch. Right hand will take the left knee across the body to the right for a twist. Gaze looks left. Release your left arm out from your left shoulder head. And come back to center. Bend both knees. Step your feet out wide to the edges of your mat and let your knees knock into each other. Grab a hold of opposite elbows above your head. And switch the grasp of your elbows. Close your eyes if they're not already closed. Let your arms release down your sides with your palms facing up. We'll now enter Shavasana. Keep your legs as they are if you wish, or slide your legs out to the front corners of your mat. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Let it go. Let every muscle in your body relax. Let go of any control of your breath. There's no expectation for you in this space. Allow yourself to just be as you rest. Bring your awareness back into your body. Welcome some breath back into those lungs. Open and close your hands. Roll out your wrists, your ankles. Point your toes forward with your arms up and overhead for a nice stretch. Squeeze your glutes. And roll off to your favorite side as you bend your knees in towards your heart. Your bottom arm will act like a pillow. With your eyes still closed, press up to a comfortable seat. Hands can rest wherever you like. Let's sit up tall. And watch your lungs work. Resist the urge to control your breathing. Add a slight smile to your lips and take in the effects of your practice. One last breath together. Deep inhale through your nose. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me again. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to teaching you again soon.